Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. I'm Dennis King. My co-host Tabitha Odegaard couldn't be with us today. She'll be back with us next week. As always, each week we come into Studio B here at TKO8 Television and have different individuals and different organizations come in from around our broadcast area to talk about programs that you may not know about or you may not understand totally. Many times we pick up information that we didn't know. And today we have two organizations that need your help. And we're going to talk to those individuals that are a part of those organizations in just a moment. Stay with us. Be back on Connection.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a Health Mart town. Sam Alexander Pharmacy on the square downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Hi, this is Jim Fitzgerald of Community First Bank, and we have a variety of home loan options that are sure to fit your financial needs. From 100% financing rural development loans to VA loans for veterans to FHA loans with low down payment options, your locally owned hometown bank has the right home loan for you. Community First Bank, where it's all about community. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television, and our first guest in the studio today is from the House of Hope, which is right here in Harrison, down across from Edwards Grocery, and Larry McCulley. Thank you so much, manager down there. We appreciate you coming in today and talking to us. And
well, I sure appreciate the opportunity to kind of let people know who we are, what we do.
It is, and I think you mentioned that actually the House of Hope's been there since back the summer of 2012.
Right.
And so you've had some time to grow and also understand better the needs of the community, obviously. And
yes.
Tell us a little bit how it got started, maybe a little bit of history about it, if you would.
Well, I think Ken Bailey was the founder, basically, of the House of Hope, and he just saw in dealing with other organizations a need for people that were literally homeless, that there was no, he found out that really within the community itself there was no specific agency or organization that was designed to help homeless or people that are near homeless. So he and a couple of others came together with the idea of developing something like the House of Hope to support those needs. And I think they found the old RSVP building that the city owns and was able to negotiate a lease with the mayor at the time and open their doors, as I said, in the summer of 2012.
I guess some people in the area may think that entities like this, like the House of Hope, is a government agency, but you're not a government agency.
Not really, no. We are just a traditional nonprofit organization. We do receive grants, and we do receive one government grant a year. But I like to explain to people, sometimes when people hear that, they think that, wow, you know, all of our money comes from the government, but it really doesn't. Only 20% of our budget comes from that one grant. And really the bulk of the funding for the center comes from just the local community. I mean, individuals, churches, different businesses that help us out through different fundraisers.
I've actually seen your donation boxes out in the businesses, kind of in the shape of a house.
Yeah, we have a little miniature house and a little coin slot and kind of a little motto across the front, change to make a change. And we're starting to put those out to different businesses. And just again, it serves two purposes really. One, to provide information to the community, as well as an opportunity just to drop your pocket change in there, and every little bit helps. That's the thing that we really want people to know, is that it doesn't take huge contributions to make a difference. That just little ones on a steady basis can really help us out.
Do you have during the year? Do you have different fundraisers within the community that maybe people could get involved in? I mean, a lot of the organizations here in the area the Kiwanis, the Rotary, and so forth, they do fundraisers to support the programs. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, we, matter of fact, it was our first, we have a major fundraiser, I think during the summer and fall time, that is primarily a direct mail for some folks. But we also did for the first time this last year, we had hosted a dinner and sort of a music fest at the House of Hope with a raffle, silent auction. And it turned out we had a great turnout, well received, and I think everybody had a great time. We cooked our own dinner there and served everybody, and there's, like I said, the raffle and silent auctions, and I had 2 or 3 different music groups from the city come out and play for us. And that was really, it was a lot of fun, and it was successful, and we looked at it as our first annual
Very good.
event for that.
Probably
so we're going to continue that.
Continue doing that.
Absolutely.
I know I've seen you've got a Facebook page if you wanted to know about a little bit more about the House of Hope. And you really have some nice brochures. I didn't bring the one to the studio that they had sent me, I think. But a very nice color brochure that's out and around different places it's like a trifold, and it tells about the House of Hope, tells not only what they do and their objectives, mission statement, etc., but also their needs there. And not just necessarily always cash needs, but you need volunteers as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. The volunteers can come in. We need some, matter of fact, right now we could use volunteer for case management. And case management, don't want people to be scared of that word, is simply interviewing the people, following a form that we already have, and just better understanding literally what their needs are, where do they need help right now to sort of get get over that hump in the road that they're in right now. And then we provide transportation during our business hours for people to take them, if they don't have a car, to take them to doctor's appointments, to school. We've helped people, if they've just gotten a job, we'll help them for several weeks to get to and from work, again, permitting, within our working hours. So we need like a volunteer driver from time to time, and that would be very, very helpful.
I would think in a situation like the House of Hope, they're dealing with a lot of different people, not necessarily always homeless,
right?
But if someone wanted to help other than maybe a donation of cash or being a volunteer, is there items that people might donate? A lot of times people are moving, or they're redoing their house, maybe have a bed, or
right.
What about that time?
Well, I tell you, that was a big one right there, beds. Beds is something that we provide people on a pretty regular basis. What you need to think about is that when a person moves into an apartment for the very first time and they were homeless, generally speaking, they have absolutely nothing. So, I mean, we're talking plates and dishes and utensils and a lamp, a table, bed, things like that. We do have, Ken has a small warehouse right downtown here, and so when people make those kinds of donations, if we can't give them directly to the people right at that moment, we will put it in the warehouse until that need arises, and then we take the people up to the warehouse, take them, look through it, see what it is that they can utilize, and then we will try to provide transportation to get that to them.
As in most agencies that are out there to help various age groups, families, etc., I'm sure that you get people that perhaps come in there that may in fact be homeless at the time, and obviously you try to help them get a job where they can be self-sustaining and or maybe go to college out here at North Arkansas College or what technical school or whatever, but once they do get maybe a little bit on their feet, I'm sure they can go through programs like HUD and some of the housing programs.
Yes.
Do you kind of direct them with these agencies in
yeah, we've sort of become a central point of contact for people sort of in the category of homeless or near homeless, and we work with the different agencies in town. We've had an opportunity to work with HRA and the Housing Authority and others, and we have their applications at our facility, so we can sort of help the people fill out those applications so that they're prepared, so that when they go to these agencies, then that sort of saves that agency a little extra step as well, and gets kind of a little jump start. But that's helped a lot, and it prepares them to what actually is needed. So yeah, it works out great.
You have obviously you manage the operations of the place down there, but do you have paid staff and volunteer staff that?
Yes,
both
we have a sort of combination of both. We have 3 paid staff members, myself that kind of looks at the overall operations. We have Lonnie Greer, who handles case management and people coming in the door. Then we have Donna Johnson, who is our food services manager and deals with all of the cooking needs, food needs, etc. that we get. And we, mentioning food, we do get contributions from the grocery store from time to time. So that's a big help, as well as individuals.
I guess you deal with obviously both male and females that
Yes.
come in there with perhaps kids or perhaps just by themselves. So you kind of have a total spectrum of people coming in there on a daily
Yeah, we
basis.
really do. I think the youngest we've seen is 17, and the oldest is probably up in their 80s. We just last week were working with a boy who just turned 18, and we introduced him to the Job Corps program that he's pretty excited about. School was not his forte, and but we encouraged him to look into Job Corps. We took him over to Workforce Services, where the interviews are conducted, and he had a successful interview. He's getting his paperwork together now, and expects to be accepted into Job Corps in a couple of weeks. So that's one of our success stories of handling and getting them into a particular field that suits their need. And Job Corps, I think, only deals with 18 to, I believe, 26.
Somewhere in there, younger.
So it's only for the younger folks, and we don't really see a lot of really young people there. But that was one that worked out great. And I think this is the 3rd time that we had an opportunity to send someone and get them involved with Job Corps.
Fantastic. Just before we got a few more minutes, about how many people do you deal with there? Let's say in a year, or maybe, I don't know if I didn't put you on the spot with numbers.
I just happen to have a couple of numbers in my head. Since we've opened, by July, we've actually seen, walking our doors, and we've talked with and performed an interview with about 840 people. Of those 840, roughly about 35% have been women and 65% men. Just runs about that range. And they have ranged from just an individual coming in that's passing through town that just needs a place for a night, or to others, that young boy that was having trouble, single mothers with children, families. We've had 3 different families we've been able to help that were actually were burned out of their houses over this past year, and in that situation we kind of work with the Red Cross as well. They help, but that's kind of the makeup. And on a daily basis, we may see anywhere from 15 to 40 people. Now, and these are not necessarily new people. These are ones that are coming in and using our services, and that we're helping out. And we may see, a couple of new people to 4 or 5 a day sometimes.
Yeah, that's good. Well, listen, Larry, we really do appreciate you coming over today and talking to us about the House of Hope, and thank you for your good work down there, and of course all the volunteers. If you happen to be out there and you'd like to help out, go down and see Larry down at the House of Hope. It's easy to find. They're right down by Edwards Grocery, RSVP building down there. So you can go down there and check in and talk to Larry and the staff there and find out maybe what their needs are. And sometimes volunteering doesn't mean you have to be there every day or for an all-day period. Maybe a few hours when they do need additional help. They always need donations. They need cash donations if you have just change or small amount. Doesn't have to be large amount. And they also need furniture-type items, bedding, of course, kitchen utensils, towels, that type of thing. As these people get on their feet and find a place to live, most of the time they don't have the other things to put in their place. Right. Larry, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in. Good luck as you go forward, and give us a call when you get ready to do your dinner or your next fundraiser.
Yes,
we'll get you back on the show.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
you very much.
Larry McCulley with House of Hope right here in Harrison. Stay with us in a moment. We've got a couple of ladies that are going to come in, I believe, from another very important organization right here in the community.
Start spinning, twisting, and pumping into a healthy lifestyle 24 hours a day at the Fitness Club. With all of the best equipment and personal trainers, you're ensured a workout that's fun, effective, and motivating. At the Fitness Club, you can enhance your glow, relax your mind, and refresh your body all in one convenient location. So what are you waiting for? Start spinning, twisting, and pumping your way into a new you today. Enhance your lifestyle and reach your goals at the Fitness Club, Highway 6265 North in Harrison.
You work hard to take care of your car, so help clean its engine and extend its life with quality gas from Conoco.
In the Branson area, visit these ConocoPhillips White Oak stations, plus Mule Express, Saddlebrook, and the Spirit Shop.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, Tabitha Odegaard couldn't be with me today. She'll be back on the show next week. Our second half of the show today has to do with a pretty yellow house that a lot of people may not know what it's all about. It's called Grandma's House. It's right here in Harrison, right across from the administration, Harrison Administration Building. And I have two individuals here. One has been with us before, and the other is new. Michelle Steiner and Cody Tatum. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Always a lot of things going on, and I'm going to let you briefly just tell people, because you've been there for a while, but still a lot of people may not know exactly what you do there, Michelle.
Actually, this year in July will be our fifth year here in Harrison, and we are a place. It's a child-friendly place, and obviously everything. If you look on the outside, from the outside in, is made to look home-like and warm for children. We see children who there have been allegations that something may have happened to them, abuse situation. We mainly deal with sexual abuse. We are there to support the child and their family. We have specialized services. We provide from the time that they enter our doors. We provide advocacy and support for them, and that's what Cody's role is. He's our lead child and family advocate. We provide forensic interviews for children. It's a specialized way of being able to talk to children, to where if there's something that may have happened to them, we allow them the opportunity to tell and to help them feel safe and help them to go through that process. And if the children aren't ready to tell, our job is to help them make them feel safe. So if they get ready to talk about it, then they know that they had a safe place to talk to someone. We also have now, since the last time that we talked, a counselor on staff. She does a special type of counseling with the kids. It's called trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, and she'll do an assessment with each one of the kids that falls within the guidelines that has come through the center. We also have special medical exams that we do for children. We have a sexual abuse nurse examiner that's contracted through us to be able to provide those services for kids, which, as you and I've talked about before, but prior to having that, kids either had to go to Children's Hospital or Springdale, and with a family who's already emotionally burdened and possibly financially burdened, that's a big deal to take off work and to go to those places. So we're very fortunate to have all of these capabilities, and we work with all the different agencies who would be involved in one of those cases. Our main partners are Arkansas State Police Crimes Against Children Division. We have a close relationship with all of our local law enforcement folks from the Sheriff's Office and police departments, and mental health and medical folks and Department of Human Services, everybody who's working to try to keep those kids safe.
Wow. You do. So it really, I guess, would be the initiated entity could be any one of those. Could be DHS, could be authorities, state police, any of those could be the initiating entity to get those children to you, right?
Yes, sir. And the only reason that kids come there is because those folks know and believe in what we do and know it's the best situation that can happen for the kids. Grandma's House doesn't have any authority, any power or say-so. Ultimately, we're there for the child and their family and to help them through that process and help it to be as least traumatic on them as possible and continue to support them. It's kind of like going to a doctor's office. If you know something's wrong and you don't know, if your questions aren't answered, that person who can answer your questions and be there to support you kind of helps to alleviate the stress on the family and the child.
Cody, you've been there for what, about 6 months now?
Right, about 6 months, yes.
Yeah. And now, did you is your background, your school in that arena, or did you come from somewhere else? How did you get involved in this type of thing?
Well, I actually have a bachelor's degree in sociology as well as one in journalism, so somewhat in the realm. It certainly isn't exactly what I pictured myself doing, but I met Michelle, and I had the opportunity to sit with her, as well as Laurel Gass, and kind of talk to them. And it was kind of like leaving the house that day after meeting with them. I was like, well, guess it's time to pack my stuff. Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity, and yeah, they did for sure. It was just a wonderful opportunity for myself, and I can't imagine myself being anywhere else in the world right now.
No, that's great. It takes special people to do what Michelle and you and the others down there do with these type of organizations. It's very important. Of course, we've been involved a little bit through the years. Since 1998, we started the Court Show, which Judge McCorkindale at the time allowed us to go in the courtrooms on plea and arraignment day on Fridays and see what was going on in the judicial system in the 14th District. And we've learned a lot, and we think we passed a lot of things on to people that maybe had their eyes closed or head in the sand and didn't realize we may be small town America, but we have our own problems, just like the major cities and so forth. So, Grandma's House, is it a national? How did it get started here? I'm going to ask you quickly.
Children's advocacy centers are organized at a national, a regional, a state, and local level. We are an independent local nonprofit. All those agencies or organizations ahead of us, are help us to maintain our standards and making sure that we're doing everything that we need to do and provide training and things of that nature. The very first Children's Advocacy Center is located in Huntsville, Alabama, and that was started by Congressman Bud Kramer, and he was a judge at the time, I believe, and he had a grandmother who her granddaughter had been raped. And she came to him after the whole process had taken place, and she told him, what happened to my granddaughter, was horrible, but the process that happened to her afterward was just nearly as bad. So he set out and sent his people across the nation to find out what other people were doing and to try to make all of this better. So, it's kind of a one-stop process to where, before having a children's advocacy center, a child may have had to talk about what had happened to them 15 different times. If they disclosed at school, the school counselors and the principals and officers and things like that, and it just keeps going over again. Whereas at Grandma's House, all of those components come together in one place instead of each person having to come and talk to the child, and they receive all the services that they need in one place instead of the child and their family having to go to all those different places.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing, and unfortunately, that what you're dealing with is an increasing issue across our country today. Children are abused in many ways, and it's sad. Do you think the economy has a lot to do when the economic conditions worsen? Do you think that affects how children are treated in various ways through their family or non-family? It seems like it's almost a roller coaster ride across there.
Well, I believe that to be true, and I'm sure that people who are much smarter than I am have done studies on that. But the statistic is 1 in 4 girls. Is it 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused by the time that they're 18 years old, and that is no different in our local small communities than it is anywhere else. We average, we see close to 250 kids every year, which, all of those, when it comes out, it doesn't mean that all of those are true child abuse cases, but that's how many kids we average seeing every year. And so far this year, since January, we've seen 35 children. So definitely have seen an increase in the numbers that we are seeing, and know that all of our community partners are very busy. Okay,
let's get into the more fun part of this thing.
Okay.
Let's talk about your fundraiser thing that you're doing right now. Actually, a contest for some new digital recording.
Yes, sir. There's a company that makes a recording system, which we have had a pie in the sky wanting and need for the system for several years. and they have a contest to be able to provide this recording system to a children's advocacy center. And we're in the contest is across the nation, so we're competing with other folks, across the United States. We've had a lot of community support and a lot of awareness about what we're doing. So that's one of the most exciting things about this contest for this system, is that people are paying attention to what we're doing.
Okay, how do they vote?
There is a website. I believe you have the address, and you just go on and there'll be the logo for Grandma's House. You select the logo for Grandma's House and press the little red heart, and your vote will count. And if people will share it, we've got a lot of movement on Facebook and things of that nature. So if people will vote and share that with their friends, the rules say that you can vote once a day.
As many times as you want.
As many times as you want, once a day, yeah.
So if you could just pay somebody to sit there on the computer and just go through it every 2 minutes or so, you could probably come out winning. Some people do that kind of stuff. And it goes through March the 8th.
Yes, it goes through March the 8th.
It would be really nice if you could come out a winner on that thing. So we obviously want to do that for you. Let's see. And then you've got a 5K run walk thing coming up. Is that correct?
Right. So April the 11th, the Boone County Leadership Council is hosting that for us. It benefits us at Grandma's House as well as the Heart of the Ozarks Child Development Center, I believe. And it's going to be at the North Art campus, I believe the South campus, and they're going to host a run walk there and some Frisbee disc golf after that. They also have a couple drawings, an autographed football from the Razorbacks, and then a Weber grill, I believe. So several things to do out there.
Well, actually, I was looking at your fundraiser thing here. It's April the 11th, and you have the 5K cross-country run walk. Well, they have a great track out there, by the way. If you've never been out there and seen it, it's fantastic. Starts at 9 a.m. At 10:30, they got Frisbee disc golf that they're going to offer too, and it goes kind of a cooperation between Grandma's House and Heart of the Ozarks. So you're two different groups kind of working together to put this on. Obviously, if they want to sign up, they can go to on your Facebook page, I guess, can't they?
I believe that it's through the Chamber of Commerce, and there's
on the Chamber website.
Yeah, that second bottom page there has the information on that.
Okay. Very good. April is Child Awareness Month, which is all what we're talking about here. So more emphasis in April coming up on that. So this is a good time to have your fundraiser event. And we'll get all these put on our bulletin board so that they can see the pictures and everything on there. And I know Jim's been working with you on the Facebook stuff. So between the social media and the broadcast and the bulletin board stuff, well, hopefully we can get the word out there so that people understand what Grandma's House is, the importance of having it, the important role that you guys all play in the success of it, and obviously your needs out there for that. So, but we do appreciate you coming in today and talking about it and telling us what's going on there. Once again, a lot of people, it gets a little complicated for people sometimes, but well put, and we appreciate you, Cody, being down there and being a part of it. I'm glad you liked it. She's probably not going to let you leave now. You understand?
Probably not, but I think I'll be all right.
Thank you both so much. We do appreciate it very much. Michelle Steiner and Cody Tatum here with Grandma's House, the Yellow House here in Harrison. Very important role in our community and what takes place there. Help them out if you can. And again, they've got some fundraisers going. We'll be putting it on our bulletin board and talking about it on our newscast. Thanks for joining us on Connection today. We hope we gave you some information you didn't know about. We'll see you again next week.
Books are an important part of your life,
And when you go to Books on the Square, you'll find books that will not only be informative, but books that will take you away. Books on the Square now has 2 locations on the south side of the Harrison Square. Books on the Square carries fiction books, books on CD, lots of westerns, and books full of mystery. Books on the Square, too, next to Deb's Frames and Things, has your nonfiction favorites, religious, historical, and even cookbooks. Take a stroll down the south side of the square and visit both Books on the Square.